What's going on? We're checking out the Scuf Infinity 4 PS Pro FPS. It does have the digital tap triggers. I want to talk to you guys about this controller and just kind of give you guys a feel for why I think it's the best controller on the market, specifically for first-person shooter games, but pretty much any game that you don't need a full threshold trigger. So the form factor of this controller is light years ahead of any controller. Now, I do have the DualSense. I do have the Scuf Reflex FPS, which is basically the new iteration of Sony Scufs, and I've used it for a while now, and I still think that the DualShock 4 form factor is just, it's the best controller on the market. The only thing that I do like about the DualSense controller more than I like about this controller is specifically just the fact that you can have 4 paddles on the back. Now, I've been saying this since 2016, since I bought my first Scuf. I wish you could put 4 paddles on this. It's probably something they're incapable of doing, or they're not able to do, I should say, because this is just directly into the body of the controller. Now, if you look at the DualSense controller, which I'll have here in my hands, you will see that the paddle system on this is actually not directly inside the body of the controller. It's actually a system that's applied to the back of the DualSense controller. Now, I thought that I really wasn't going to be too fond of the DualSense controller, to be honest. It's bigger than the DualShock 4 considerably, but not really at the same time. I mean, it's a bit bigger. It's about the size of maybe an Xbox 360 controller, maybe smaller. I don't even know if I should compare it to the 360 controller, but this controller, I really like it, to be honest. The triggers feel really good. Like, it's a really nice digital tap trigger. When you compare it to the DualShock 4, aka the Scuf Infinity 4 PS, it's about the same. I mean, obviously there's a different button there. It's got basically the same mechanism there. They both feel really good. If you guys are Sony heads, I would recommend you pick up both of these controllers if that's something that you're capable of doing right now, and try them both for yourself. Now, we're not here to talk about the Xbox controller specifically because, let's all be real, the Xbox controllers poop. No, I'm kidding. Xbox controllers are good, but this is the best controller on the market. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are leaning for. Are you guys more of a Sony head? Are you guys more of an Xbox head? What controllers are you guys using? Let me know that in the comments down below. But as it stands, if you're in the market for a new controller, I would lean towards the Scuf Infinity 4 PS versus the Scuf Reflex FPS, aka the DualSense and the DS4, the DualShock 4. I would take the DualShock 4 over the DualSense, but I feel like if you talk to me in a couple more weeks, that might change. I'm really starting to get used to this DualSense, this larger size controller, and it's familiar to a DualShock. Those of you guys that do have PS5s, I don't have a PS5, but those of you guys that do have a DualSense controller, you guys will know that this controller is familiar to a DualShock 4, although it doesn't feel exactly the same. You guys can see that the grips there, similar, but not the same. Now, I think one thing that they fucked up on is the bottom. They should have kept the oval or the circular dome at the bottom. I think this little cutoff mechanism, like they're rolling a piece of dough and then you just sliced off a freaking little corner of it. It doesn't feel as good. I think if they kept it rounded off here at the bottom, we'd have a better product, but obviously they decided against that. The DualSense has a really bad rap, and I've held like briefly one time an OG DualSense controller, meaning one that's not modified by Scuf or Battle Beaver or anything like that, and it's definitely not as good as a DualShock if you're having OG controllers. Just the plain DS4, the plain DualShock 4 versus the plain DualSense. The DS4 beats it all day long. There's not even a question. But I don't know, guys. If you guys can only get one right now, I'll jump in with the DS4. It's probably going to be the most familiar to the majority of you guys anyways. But this is definitely worth picking up if you guys got some extra cash laying around and you're looking to pick up 1 or 2 new sticks for your gaming setup. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are thinking. What's your main stick that you're using right now? What's your main controller that you're using? That's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys like videos like this, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button if you're feeling up to it, and leave a comment down below. What controller are you using, my brother? Catch you next time. Peace.